Alright, here I am, braving the mosquitoes for you. No, but really, my housemate, I have a temporary housemate, and she's just coming from a night shift. So rather than talk in the apartment, I thought, hey, I'll chat here instead. Maybe some interesting background characters will join us anyway. Don't forget that a lot of my videos... Hello. Just finished the gym?
Yep.
A lot of the videos on this YouTube will have chapters. Don't forget that, so you can actually scroll down and get to the timestamps in the show descriptions. I don't know if everybody knows this, but that's how it works. What's today's topic? I've actually got a list of things to chat about because it's been a while, and we can just pick them up. Shut up, Siri. We can just pick them apart, or you ask me questions, because it's a sexy free for all here on this channel. But I'll start with the YouTube stuff. What was that, Raya? No, that was Siri. And where is everyone? What do you mean? Where is everyone? You mean everyone on the YouTube, or everybody here? I don't understand what you mean, by the way. I'll wait for the responses. Sorry. To clean my eyes. 2 viewers. Yeah, it's pretty low. That's fine, because, well, there we are. We're going to talk about the YouTube stuff, because I found out that watch time doesn't count towards remonetizing the channel. So it's probably good that there's only 2 of you here, and then everybody else can watch on the replay. So we need to promote replay scrubs to this channel for the time being. Okay, so we need lots of replay scrubs, which is a bit of a bummer, because I was getting lots of watch time on the live, and I thought, great, the channel's going to get remonetized again pretty soon, but that's not the case. And now I want everybody to not watch me live. What was that question from someone? Hello, Brian. Howdy. It's been a minute. How are you, Dr. D? I'm great. I got my vaccinations last month, so I only found out yesterday. No, it doesn't, Jonathan. I only found out yesterday that there's some Delta variants of the virus. I've been out of the loop of all news. I've sequestered myself away, which we'll get into as well. Now there's 3 and more. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's enough to chat with. Just need some engaging people. We've got a conversation going, and then we can just talk about what we need to talk about. Say, running rampant in the US. Yeah, I say we, the government caught 1 person here at the border. I think it was a worker. Kevin will fill me in. But last I heard, they were waiting for confirmation that that this was someone with the Delta variant. Hello, Mitch. Yeah, it's because housemate is sleeping, and I didn't want to wake her up. Just down there, just down there, there was some black people looking after this street, making sure that no Deliveroo and Panda drivers, whatever the fuck they are, were parking their motorcycles down there, and they were there for like over a month. 2 black guys on shift every 12 hours would change, and I got to know a few of them. Knew them all by name, gave them free yogurt, and one of them I'm in email contact with. And now it's some Chinese guys, and I'm not interested. Not actual bona fide black people from Africa, from the heartland, from the motherland, Dr. D. Okay? Yes, they were from the country that begins with an N, not Nairobi. No, that's a city. Nicaragua? No, that's in South America. Shit. What's that N word? Nigeria. There we go. Nigeria. Not the other N word. The other N word. The knowing. That's the N word I was thinking of, because I didn't know. Dodged a bullet, cut a couple of bullets there, didn't I? But I was really fascinated with trying to understand why it was just 4 black guys for a month trying to protect us. And yeah, I just got to know them. They all work on security. They don't speak Chinese, so the jobs that they can do is rather limited. And now the Chinese people are looking after the security, and I'm not interested. From Chungking Mansions? No, I don't think they were. No. New Zealand capital Wellington is on a level 2 lockdown due to Aussie sitting tours to the Delta. Okay, but New Zealand is very overprotective of its citizens. We can tell the counter isn't working properly because we've got one person here, but we've got more than one person here. Okay, anyway. The Deliveroo drivers, because, okay, let me back up because I think Jonathan's not been here for a while. So recently, what we've got behind this building over here, the one at the back, like if I point to it on the screen, this one here, okay, but from my perspective, I'm pointing at it. From your perspective, it just looks like I'm angry at the neighbors. Behind this building is Montaigne Mansions, and underneath it is it's a kitchen where some of the most popular restaurants can actually have their food made there instead of in the restaurant. So what that means is that they've sped up delivery times in this area. So if you wanted to eat at Piccolo, wherever the fuck that is in Central, you don't have to order and get the Deliveroo driver to come from Central, which is like potentially a 20-minute bike ride, to here. Now it'll just take 5 minutes because they're cooking Piccolo food in this place. Shit, I can't even get the perspective right. In this place behind here, okay? That's what they're doing. And so, because that kitchen restaurant takes care of like, I think 10 different other restaurants, they've got a huge amount of Deliveroo drivers and Food Panda drivers parking their motorcycles on this concrete space down there. And that's where we walk to get into this area, but they've decided to park there. And so someone who owns these buildings said, no, we're not having that. And so they've paid for full-time security, 24-hour security now, at the beginning of the street to make sure they're just not in the way and clear them all out, all the drivers. And we've only got like 1 or 2 motorcycles, but they've parked on the road instead. So that's why we've got security. That's why we had black people looking after us last month, okay? But now seems to be Chinese people looking after us. Right. What was I going to talk about? Watch time we did. The garden videos, you noticed. What I need is my mosquito tennis racket. I didn't realize all these mosquitoes would be here. It must have been raining last night because they're all here. Look, I mean, hello, Nicole. We were just talking. I'm sitting next to this. We were just talking about black people, and then here you came. An urban stack. So the gardening videos, which seem to be popular, I think the authenticity, I know, you're representing, Brian. The gardening videos, which people enjoy, even John Ho left a comment, okay? Hello, Chad. It's a bit late for you, isn't it? Even he left a comment on my YouTube channel saying he likes it. I guess so. So I filmed that in the first 2 weeks of the month. All of them. All... Wait there, let me count. Don't want to miscount. Dr. D, Nicole, Brian. 3. My 3 black friends. You're looking well. How are your work? Good, I'm good. I'm just going to sleep when I saw your notification. Okay, watch on the replay. It's more valuable to me, Chad, but thank you. I film in the first 2 weeks of the month, and then I'll throw it into the next month halfway through. So I've got a schedule sorted out. But my neighbor who I share his roof with, he's leaving soon. Him and his girlfriend are leaving for Canada. They're going. Take care, Chad. Don't forget you were here at the 9:50 minute mark. And so that garden space, I'm going to have to get out of it somehow. Maybe start creating an indoor garden in the house instead. So we'll see what happens with that. But there we are, just in case you wanted to know. Right. What else have we got here on this list? Oh yeah, the important one. I have no Mac at the moment. I have no Apple Mac. I had a problem with it. This is going to my attempt of trying to save some money by buying a second-hand Mac and then upgrading it, and it just didn't work out. So I sold it to someone on the internet. And aside from the ridiculous offers I was getting, no, they're not Canadian actually. One is Malaysian. One of them is Malaysian, and the other one is from America, but he's from a Midwestern state or middle state, but I think up near the top. I can't remember. Yeah, but there we are. They're going to Canada for some reason. So yeah, no Mac. I can't make edited videos very easily, and I have to use my iPad. So the gun batteries part 2, I've still got that somewhere. I just need to wait for my new Mac, which will come next month, because again, I don't know anything what's happening in the news, but there's a chip shortage, so I've got to wait 2 weeks for a new computer. It's 2021. I remember many years ago you could order a computer and it'll come within a few days. Well, they're waiting, Jonathan. So they're slowly packing. They're not going like next week, but they are slowly packing up things now and selling some of their furniture, which I've put my fingers in the pie. I've got dibs on some of their stuff, and yeah. So I'll lose the rooftop garden temporarily. I might speak to their landlord, and see if he'll let me like rent it, or speak to the new occupants if they come. I'll try and figure out a way, because that's what I did with them. I just approached them and said, hey, can I share some of your garden to do some rooftop gardening? Who knows the next group of people, but we'll see. So yeah, new Mac in about 2 weeks, and at the moment everything else I'm doing is on the iPad or on the phones. But what's really sweet is that I backed everything up. I've lost the iMac, and I could potentially just keep making videos and podcasts and still write without any downtime, because everything's integrated onto the iPad. Different, not Apple software specifically, but using Dropbox and whatnot, I can just pick up where I left off. But video editing is so much easier on the Mac rather than on the iPad. Podcasts and writing is better on the iPad. Have ridden the last 5 generation Victoria Peak tram before get replaced with the next. No, Kevin. I do fancy doing a video, but what's his name's coming soon? Penguin 6. He's coming back to Hong Kong next month. So maybe let him do it. Interestingly, the video I did with Anne, the domestic worker, that video is doing really well. A lot of people seem interested in that, but it makes me wonder. But that's a sit-down, casual conversation, and the watch time on that was over 10 minutes. But there's some people who have backed out, and they've lowered it to 8 minutes now, bastards. But that video is more popular than a video where I go exploring, and I can't figure that out. Can you help me out with that? What is that about? And people stick around longer to chat, for me to chat with somebody rather than go exploring. Yes, I agree, Charles. Charles. But I have 2 iPads, and the podcast work is away from the Mac, so I can just keep continuing with that. Maybe it's because it's your latest video. No, it's just doing great. It's just maybe people here in Hong Kong are more interested. Maybe I should check the stats on that instead. But they're sticking around for like 10 minutes to listen to 2 people chat, which I find interesting. But Anne is going to help me find some other people to talk to, even though she's back in the Philippines now. And then maybe what I'll do is I'm going to add her to my Hello from Hong Kong podcast. So when John Ho gets hold of me, I'll have John Ho in Thailand and in the Philippines and me here, and maybe start a series of podcasts with other Asian people in other Asian countries. Yes, it is Dr. D. It is interesting. That's the plan anyway for that Hello from Hong Kong podcast, because I'm trying to broaden its scope. In the past, I've limited what I wanted to do with it. And hi, you're on YouTube. He's got an amazing comb over. Can you see it? Just shave it, bro. Just shave it all off. He's got a comb over at the front, and he's got a bald patch in the middle, and then he's got a wraparound comb over at the back. Not to embarrass him or anything, live to 12 viewers. But it's his fault for wearing a green shirt, a green screen shirt. That wasn't on me. So. I used to work in a restaurant, and we had a little Italian waiter, a head waiter, sorry, or Major D, and he had like 5 strands. I did that for some reason. He had 5 strands of hair, and that would just go over like that. Okay, great. I'd be open, Jonathan. I'd be open to that. Go straight over, and it's like, dude, just fucking shave it. Just get it off. It'd be so liberating. Who cares? I just don't understand why a comb over is still a thing. We've seen all the old movies and the jokes from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Just fucking. Well, then again, look at Mr. Trump. He had the most golden comb over ever, didn't he? Just shave it off. Have a bald president. Only Americans care about presidents with hair. Okay? Can't all be like Gorbachev. I get it. I'm not advocating for Gorbachev style leadership, but I mean, they got Yeltsin. I mean, look at Putin. No one complains about his baldness because he's a fucking gangster. So all you need is a gangster American president, and no one's going to say shit. So I'm trying to think. Jimmy Carter had nice hair. John F. Kennedy had definitely had nice hair. Carter still has nice hair. What we're talking about. Ronald Reagan. He is an actor. He had decent hair. Bill Clinton, Obama. Goes without saying, because most stylish president ever, of course. And yes, it is because he's black. Who else? Thomas Jefferson. He was wearing those. He wore that wig. American presidents started with wigs, so I don't get it. Idea for your garden: why don't you do some urban gardening where you find an open area and just plant things? Not allowed. You're not allowed to tinker tailor with the world outside. Otherwise, you get in trouble by the lands department. And one time, I took a baby papaya tree that I owned. I hiked up this peak. In the middle of the night, I buried it, okay, behind a fence in what I thought was wild country, behind this fence, behind this park. And then I went up the next day, and somebody had ripped it out of the ground, and had made sure to break it on their knee, snapped it in 2 as well, and just threw it on the floor. And I was like, you fuckers, why would you do that? Like, it's a papaya tree. They're native, Joe-san, they're native to Hong Kong. Why do that? And yet, there's a jackfruit tree sitting right there, and there's a big piece of jackfruit waiting to fall on that car. Do you want to see it? Yes. Press 1. Press 1 in the chat. I'll show you this jackfruit. Good job we're outside, isn't it? Check this out. Can I flip the camera? Yeah, I can. There it is. There was another one, but it's gone. Let me get a better angle on it. Yeah, so that's these 2 are jackfruit trees. My American neighbor who's going to leave for Canada, he was saying once, he was standing here admiring the tree, and he just noticed that there was jackfruit there. And then underneath the tree, he noticed this old lady spying on him, and he said that she gave him the look to say, "Leave my fucking jackfruit alone." He was just curious about it, but she was waiting for it to drop so she could claim it for herself. It's like, okay. Right, need a long tall bamboo stick, yeah, but I'm not touching it. In my area, I plant seeds on the streets so flowers grow in gutters. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. But yeah, I can't do that. Okay. Oh! How can I forget? So, I want to get my permanent residency, and I need to apply in late July or August, because my 7 years, I get my 7 years, or I can claim my 7 years in September, but you can apply a little bit early. It turns out that, yes, Kevin, I'm MacBook Air, 2 weeks time. It turns out that my boss is going to close the company. Now, if she does that next month, I'm fucked, because I need to get a new work contract. But speaking to her, it turns out that she's going to stop operating, but I'm still going to be a, employee. But so I can still apply for my permanent residency with no rush or anything. But it does mean that I have to handle my own invoicing and essentially start to become self-employed as a private tutor. So that means they'll no longer take a 20% cut. So that's a 20% pay rise for me. And then effectively, I am freelance. So everything that I charge, I will get for myself. But she's offered to keep me on board, but with the commission, because she's got overheads, she's not doing it for free. My PA, my lifelong PA of 7 years, my lifelong Hong Kong PA of 7 years, she's leaving next month. She's the largest overhead for the company, whereas I'm bringing money into the company. I don't cost her anything, because she doesn't pay my travel, only the MPF. But what we're going to do is, out of my 20%, I will pay my own MPF for 1 or 2 months, so then it really doesn't cost her and incentivizes her from not letting me go, and then I'm without a work contract, and then I'm screwed, right? So that's really nice of her. So I'll be self-employed pretty soon. Get your permanent residency as soon as possible, just in case. Yes, Kevin, I agree. MPF is mandatory pension fund. So 5% of my wages go into a government-approved pension fund. But because I'm not a resident, or I can leave at any time, what's really useful is that I can write a statement to the government to say, I'm not coming back. And if I promise not to come back after, let's say, 5 years, they can let go of that MPF and give it to me. So that's all the way from 2012. That's 9 years. Let's say if I left in 2022. That's 9 years of pension money that I will get, 5%. 5% of $250,000 is what, 12,000 and a half times 10 years. That's 125,000 Hong Kong dollars. This is just numbers. Don't hold me to it. That's like 16,000 US that I will get, okay? If I leave Hong Kong. But that's how much I've saved. But it's not a lot, is it? After 10 years, that's how bad, in some respects, the MPF is. But I did say it's only 5%. So obviously, what some Hong Kong people do is put more money into it. Oh, and it's matched, actually. If I put 5% in, then my company also has to put 5% in. So actually, it's 32,000 US that I should be getting. I'm laid in my bed eating Maltese. Those are the things in life you should appreciate. Oh, okay. My friend got it like that as soon as he signed it, as soon as he promised not to come back, and he never came back. You met Jack a while back in an old Hello from Hong Kong podcast, but that's 32,000 I'm sitting on. Otherwise, you are encouraged to start your own pensions here, which I already have anyway now. So that 32,000 is something that I could fucking do with actually. Right, that was a bit off topic. I didn't expect it to chat about that, but there we are. Right, what else have we got going on? So, no Macintosh. I had some joker when I tried to sell my iMac, by the way. No, it's not an interesting story. Fuck it. What else? Yeah, so I want to talk about a little bit about social media now. I don't know how you feel, but ever since deleting Twitter from my phones and only using it, say, a little bit in the morning, because when I commute, I actually edit Zora's podcasts. So I'm making a conscious decision to say, if I don't edit Zora's podcasts on my commute, then that means I'm not interested in making money in my spare time. So it's an incentive to not go on Twitter and use social media as much. That's why I'm closed off from the world at the moment. I didn't know about the Delta virus until yesterday. I don't know what Biden's doing. I don't know if there's any earthquakes in this world. I honestly don't know what's going on. You guys could tell me and I'd be like, oh, okay. Fine, fair enough. Obviously, some Hong Kong stuff I know about, like Apple Daily closing down. I know about that. That's hard to miss. Zora lives in Spain. She's digital nomading in Spain. It's raining again. Shit. I fucking snapped it. Oh, I could go to my stairwell. It wasn't, Kevin. I was getting rained on. Hello, Johnny. Right, what were we talking about? The backdrop was good. Yes, it was. Oh, so thank you for reminding me. So I'm using social media much less. Hello, Moose. And what I found, it's as I use it less, and then I do go on, I'm becoming less engaged with whatever's on Twitter, and I'm just not interested as much. It's allowing me to pull back, and I didn't realize that. And we talked about in the past the effects of social media on all of us, and I'm becoming less and less interested in what's happening there, and really using more long form like podcasts, really getting into that much more. And basically it's like a happy ending to this ongoing topic of social media, because a lot of it is a time waste, but there's nothing on social media for me at the moment for me to get my teeth into, to really hook me into a topic and then talk about it. There's just nothing there. I don't know how you feel, but it did get me thinking about something like Twitter, where there is a large vocal minority who shout from the rooftops, try to control discourse, try to control the agenda or the narratives, And if you look at Twitter's user base, it's what, 300 million, 350 million population of America? And yet Facebook, Instagram is in the billions. So I am actually on Instagram more if I want to just check out what people are doing. But even then I don't really engage with it, I'm just watching it. But I'm really enjoying being cut off from what's happening in the world for the time being, and just focusing on podcasts, making podcasts, writing, and trying to make YouTube videos. Should try Weibo. Kevin, everyone speaks Chinese on Weibo. I don't know what you're talking about. That's ridiculous. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just gonna post things that I want to make, and just very short things. I used to be really interested in trying to explain or show people, like, look what's going on. This is what's happening, and we've got some ridiculous people doing things, and the engagement on it wasn't really that high. So it must mean that people aren't interested. But if Twitter's user base is barely growing, what does that say about the stickiness to the platform? There isn't much anyway, because a lot of it is just a head-banging against the wall experience, unless you're reading something. But now a lot of things are behind paywalls, which I don't mind paying for, but it disrupts the flow. Like if you're on Twitter, you want to read like there's a New York Times article today I wanted to read, and it asked me to log in to the New York Times, and I have a login for it. I just couldn't be bothered. I just wanted to read it and then continue reading other stuff. So that was a slight barrier towards reading this article. And it was about Apple Daily closing in Hong Kong, a newspaper of 26 years, just saying that what happened to that company could happen to any other company here. But I won't know now because I only read the tweet headline. So that's a shame. Because I can't talk to you about it, because I just hate that idea of being interrupted. The New York Times used to say, you get 10 articles, you don't have to log in. It's like, great. But now you have to log in to get those 10 articles. I can't be bothered. Anybody else have similar thoughts on Twitter or social media in general? I'll be interested to hear about it. Give you a couple of seconds. Otherwise, I'm going to talk about the Loki TV series. Yeah, the SCMP I tried to read, Kevin, but I removed them from my Twitter list because recently they also turned on the email registration. I'm very resistant, like Paula. But no one's scoping, Jonathan. Yes, Dr. D. Brian, I do agree with you on that. Perhaps Clubhouse and Heckle. Perhaps I'm not using Dr. D because I want to focus on YouTube. Clubhouse I did use, but then I couldn't be bothered with it. There's no easy way to discover things, and nobody would come into my room, and John Ho was coaching me. I mean, he was coaching me, but he was saying things like, oh, people don't want to see like a logo, they want to see a profile picture. And there was already, after like a month, there was already this aversion to bad behavior. And considering all of its users, nobody would come in to my live streams. And John Ho was saying, no, you need to go into theirs, and then they'll come into yours. And it's like, but everything on Clubhouse, I'm not interested in. It's just garbage. To me, personally, it was just garbage, like entrepreneurial stuff. I just wasn't interested in a lot of that. Or it was just chill. I can just chill anywhere. I don't need to chill on Clubhouse and listen to people chilling. And the other one was Heckle. I'm not using that either. For the same reason as hats because I wanted to vote everything to the YouTube channel. Yeah, but I'm not using TikTok. I like Instagram stories and live as well as YouTube and YouTube live. Okay. It's interesting that none of you have an opinion or sharing an opinion, except for Jonathan, about Twitter. So what does that say? Well, Paula said she goes past it, but that's about it. I find that interesting. Yeah, Twitter is okay. If anything, I check out some of the people from my tech Twitter list because it's the least political, and then I just move on. I'll just start doing something on my side of the screen. I'm really sick of this rain. Let me check the... Okay, but that won't work for me. I want to check the weather for the rest of the week. Yeah, it's going to rain all week still. Yes. But it's more wet than usual. Right. Just the Twitter, not Twitter, just the Apple weather app. It was only yesterday that I protected the tomatoes with a plastic bag covering them from the rain because they're dying. There's too much rainwater coming into the bowl. I don't know how loud it is for you, but it's pretty loud here. That's why I'm raising my voice. Oh, so this goes into the Loki discussion. If you haven't watched it, do tell me, and I won't do any spoilers. Brian, it's fine. I don't want live viewers, really. I don't want too many, because I want them to watch on the replay. Watch me on replay. There's no delay, David. Just no engagement. So, the Loki TV series has come out on Disney Plus, and people are on Twitter, on one of my other accounts that I use for pop culture, they're complaining about the Loki TV series immediately. And I notice it's the same people just looking for something to be upset about because their thing isn't being done exactly in the way it is in the comics. Don't get me wrong, I do agree with them, but ultimately, I just want to sit down and just watch something and not have people comment on its flaws. Okay, Dr. D, thank you for popping in. And there just seems to be a sort of repeat pattern of people who, a new TV series comes out, they haven't finished it because we're only on episode 3 out of 6, and people are complaining about the first 15 minutes, say, of the first episode. And it's like, just finish watching it first. Finish watching the first episode. But people are proud to, I don't know what that is, they're proud to tap out after 15 minutes or after 5 minutes. And so one of the complaints, again, no spoilers, one of the complaints is that the first episode is exposition heavy. But there's nothing wrong with exposition as long as it keeps you entertained. And I was entertained by the very first episode. And the characters, Owen Wilson plays a character, Tom Hiddleston plays the Loki character, and their engagement together is really, really interesting. It held my attention. So that should be enough. But the concepts that they're putting into the show are going to be things that are new to the layman. And you've got to give the layman a chance to understand how the world operates. And I do feel that people who are a geek, nerd, really invested in the source material can kind of forget that because they grow up with the idea of, say, alternate realities, time travel, paradoxes, or the grandfather paradox, things like that. They know those things, and maybe it's as innate to them as it is breathing. But they forget that not everyone is like that, or people are going to approach a TV series cold. So you've got to give them a chance to warm up. But even if that was the case, you could say, yeah, Quantum Leap, I remember. You could even say, well, that will bog down the story. But it doesn't bog down the story. And now you've got another character that's coming in, and people are saying it's SJW derived or inspired nonsense. And I just don't think that's fair, actually. And episode 3 came out yesterday, and all my timeline was talking about was the character. Who is this particular character? And they wanted to know the answer because then they could tweet about it with regards to their personal affiliations to how they think about that character. But nothing was said about the story. Nobody cared about the music, the writing, the aesthetics of the show. None of that. They just wanted to know, is this actor playing this particular character or not? That's it. And that's the vibe I'm getting from a lot of other people. And it's like, I understand a lot of popular characters are being turned from men into women. I get that, and I'm against it. I think you should create your own characters. I don't think you should tokenize well-known characters or give a token to a minority or to a white woman. Like making Superman black, making Doctor Who a woman. Give me new characters to invest in, new franchises to invest in. But we know that corporates want to make something that's bankable, and it's always risky to start with a new franchise. So part of me doesn't believe it's a politics, it's just money talking. And you can't expect corporates to risk things, especially when certain franchises have existed for such a long time. Why start again? But, you know, Disney have like 10 different Star Wars series. So that material has to come from somewhere, and a lot of it is original. Who knows? So, I've enjoyed the Loki series thus far, up to episode 3. And then Netflix has been recommending a TV series called Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I've started getting into that as well. I know it's a comedy. I watch it while I'm making breakfast. That's it. If anyone else watches it, good for you. It's okay. It's entertaining. It's not laugh out loud funny. Any thoughts? What about David? You've heard me twice on your phone and your TV. Thank you for reminding me. I'm halfway through the Hong Kong version of Internal Affairs, Why She Rolling Her Eyes. I'm halfway through it because it's very hard for, normally I'm multitasking. I'm making breakfast, making dinner while I'm watching TV. But when it's a Cantonese and there's no subs, thankfully, sorry, dubs. When there's no dubs, I have to sit down and watch it. And so I'm halfway through Internal Affairs, the first one. And I'm also halfway through a Jackie Chan movie called Robin Babyhood or something, where he saves a baby's life at the beginning and then he has to steal the baby halfway through the movie or something. And it's Jackie Chan speaking Cantonese, which is really weird for me because I've only ever heard him speak English or mainland Chinese. But there we are. I'm halfway through those 2 movies. By the way, people's reactions to comic book material in particular is a double-edged sword, because you've got people who react with such vitriol on Twitter. Oh, I might have to add that on Reddit, people don't complain about the Loki TV series on Reddit, so it's definitely something to do with Twitter. Twitter is bringing out the negativity for some reason. But on Reddit, you can have both websites loaded up at the same time, and you can just read opposite thoughts, entirely opposite thoughts to the TV show. But a lot of people have such wonderful reactions. And there's a podcast I listen to where people talk about the Loki TV series, and they react to it in such a way where I'm left bewildered, because I'm thinking, oh, you found that really interesting, or you found that really funny, but I didn't. And maybe it's the culture in America, I don't know. But there are people focusing on things that I don't think are particularly clever or outstanding or amazing, because I've seen it before somewhere, and they do. And it makes me sort of consider their opinion and perspective on things, and I'm left wondering, why are they speaking so highly about it? That's for me to dwell on. But they praise it in such a way where it's just never been done before. But then it makes me think, maybe they don't watch a lot of cinema. Maybe they haven't looked at some of the greats. Or maybe they haven't seen a story similar to that. I don't know. So you've got a group of people, let me summarize. You've got a group of people very upset about tiny little details. And then you've got another group of people who I think would be more laymen, who are overindulging in their celebration for something. And I'm left bewildered by those people, because I'm not interested. I just glossed over it, or I didn't really I paid attention to it, but I just had that kind of reaction to it. But then again, a lot of people in American cinema will clap and cheer in the cinema, whereas I won't do that. I don't even, or people clap on an aeroplane ride. I don't do that either. And there's this overt physical reaction to something, and I'm just entirely placid to it, or passive. I don't know. It's curious. I'm getting a sort of insight into how other people watch something, and I'm just like, oh, I don't do that. And I'm in a culture that doesn't do that. Hong Kong people do not anymore clap and holler at the screen when something amazing happens. Even in Endgame, they were just silent, just I don't know. I'm definitely out of touch with how Westerners view pop culture. How's the COVID situation? Any idea when people can travel in? You can travel in, OD, but you just have to quarantine yourself. But I think they are setting up quarantine bubbles, so certain countries can come in and they don't need to quarantine, because they're so good with looking after the virus in their country. My current housemate, she came in, she didn't need to quarantine, but she has had the Sinovac vaccine. She came from China and she just came here. That was it, done. But again, I haven't kept up to date on it. I do know that everything's open now. No, it's never been high here, because the government has, I think, they've done their best to try to stop the spread of the virus. During the fourth wave, it got a bit scary, but we've never gone into a lockdown. Government services are open. We still have to socially distance and record our whereabouts if we go to a restaurant. You can use an app for convenience, or you just write on a chit of paper where you are at the time you entered the restaurant, and that's it, right? And you just temperature check yourself everywhere you go. That's it, really. It's nothing like what's happened in the UK or America, if you didn't know this, really. Yeah, so if you go into McDonald's, you have to temperature check yourself and then scan the app to say that you were here at this particular time, on this particular date, with your name and number. So if there is an outbreak, they can trace you. They can say, okay, Brian Davis was in McDonald's. There's an outbreak at this particular McDonald's, so we need to quarantine you. And because of the cyber. Oh. I'm sure, Brian. When I had my second vaccine, who was that who said it? Ms. I just got ill for one day. Just had a temperature, and a headache and felt tired. That's it. That was fine. But that is interesting. So you don't do that in America. Record your whereabouts. Okay. Everybody uses the app for the most convenience, but to me, in my mind, if I write it on a piece of paper and I have to give it to the restaurant, if the government picks it up, they've got to spend time figuring that out. There's been 1 or 2 deaths here because of the COVID vaccine. Okay. But that's the Sinovac vaccine, Kevin. From what I'm hearing, only the Pfizer vaccine is the best one against the Delta variant. Is that true? I'm going to wrap up this live stream in a minute. It is both the Pfizer and the Moderna. Okay. That's cool. I don't know if you saw this tweet, but I did on Reddit. But basically, the FBI has said if your phone was turned on and you was inside Capitol Hill on January the 6th, they know where you are. So I don't understand why most Americans, or a lot of Americans, or enough Americans, are ignorant to the idea that they're already being tracked with their phone. I don't understand that. So going into a store to write your name down on a scrap of paper is any less offensive or any more offensive than holding a phone. I don't understand. Can you explain that to me? The FBI are going to track every single person down if your phone was turned on. You're already being tracked. And this is in regard to the idea that the vaccine puts a chip inside you, or you shouldn't write your name and number on a piece of paper. I really don't get it. Okay. If there's nothing else to talk about, I'm going to go. I just wanted to jump in and just chat, catch up with you all. I wish I could have stayed outside. Right. Yes, they are. 4 UV. Okay. When it stops raining, I want to do some more live streams outside as well. Just haven't been able to do it. Right. The government wants to find you. They can find you. They don't need a vaccine to find you. Thank you, Ms. Right. Okay. Let's leave it there. Thank you for your time. And I'll see you in the next video, okay? Oh, you have to know who's being recorded. Yeah, that's true. It's my day off today, Kevin. I don't have to go back outside all day. I'm fine. I'm working from home today with podcast editing, and I've got an online student. Yeah. I have 2, actually, before I go, still under an hour, so we're good. I have 2 students who are leaving Hong Kong. One in 3 weeks, and then the other one at the end of July. So I've got 4 children leaving, 2 clients, obviously because of the situation here. And they want to get in before school starts back in they're all going to the UK, but they want to get there before the UK school starts, and they can brush up on their English during the month of August. And one of the parents said to me, next time you come, you need to explain what the UK is like. Yeah, I wish I could do more videos. They know there's more crime in the UK, so they want me to get them up to speed on things like that. But I might do a presentation. Right. In fact, what I could do. No, it's too intrusive. I was going to say they can come here and chat about it. Maybe in a podcast I could ask them why are they leaving. That could be interesting. Not make it political. Well, actually, it would be political. I'd have to release it after the meeting. Okay, I'm talking to myself. Right, thanks for your time, and I'll stew on it along with everything else.